I appreciate everyone coming out today. It's been a different day. It's been an adventurous day. There's nothing boring in athletics, and we're always looking to find what's best for ISU athletics, for Idaho State University, and everything that we do. We knew that we needed a change of direction with our football program. We knew that we needed to improve, and we knew to some extent that we needed some different or some better leadership with our football program, as it has to do with our student athletes and their welfare, our assistant coaches, and the overall student body at the university. Because of that, I met with Coach Kramer today to discuss that, and he decided that he was going to retire on his own. I accepted that retirement, and we will move forward with that. I'll say that the timing for all of this isn't perfect. It really isn't, and it never is. It's never the best timing. But this helps us move forward for the betterment of our program, for our student athletes. We haven't begun spring football yet, and that's an important thing that we still haven't begun. And we can work together, the coaching staff, the student athletes, and me, to make our football program better. I want to thank Mike Kramer. I really appreciate him. He's a friend, and times like these are very difficult because he is a friend of mine. He's close. I've invested a lot of time and effort along with him for the football program, and he's brought great things to us. Many of you may remember some of the circumstances that we were under when he came in. We were in academic penalties from the NCAA because of very low APR scores, and under Mike's direction, those have been remedied. Our graduation rates were very low. Our GPA was very low. Under Coach Kramer's leadership and tenure, we have a 95% graduation rate of football student athletes. That is outstanding, and I'm so grateful for him for that. One of the other things was the social responsibility of our student athletes. Prior to Coach Kramer, on weekends it was common for me to get a call at 2 or 3 in the morning from the Pocatello police saying, please come help us break up this party. And I haven't received one of those since. So I'm very grateful for Coach Kramer. He raised the bar for Idaho State University, raised us to a new level, and we can be better. Moving forward, we can be better. I want to announce that Rob Phenicie will take over as our offensive coordinator and head coach for the Bengal football team. Rob comes to us with a lot of great experience, having been he was a co-offensive coordinator at the University of Wyoming. He was the offensive coordinator at the University of Montana under Bobby Houck during some very successful years at the University of Montana, and then moved with Coach Houck to the UNLV, where he was also the offensive coordinator. So he brings a lot of great experience, something that we find very valuable, and taking the reins on the offense and the leadership role for our football team is something that we're excited for to have with Coach Phenicie. From that, that's my statement, and would like to open it to any questions.
So you said you were going to meeting with Kramer today. Was the intention to dismiss him before he said he would retire?
The intention was to improve the program. I had open possibilities of what could and could not happen. But a change in the program and the change in the leadership was at the forefront of that meeting.
If Mike hadn't retired, would he still have been your football coach this season?
Say that again.
If Mike hadn't retired, would he still be your football coach?
No.
He has 1 year left on his contract. Are you guys paying that final year?
We will. That's a decision that I made with him. He's got about 8 months left on his contract. It ends January 21st, I believe, 2018. But that's a common standard in the industry, and we stuck to that.
Did Rob leaving for Northern Iowa have anything to do with the decision being made today?
No.
Is Rob Phenicie in Northern Iowa now?
No.
Was he ever?
Yes.
He was there this week. Did he sign anything? Did he sign a contract at all with them?
You'd have to ask them.
Can you explain the timeline of events from Tuesday? Obviously, you guys announced that he was leaving, and now he's the head coach of ISU football.
He notified us last week and began coaching for them last week. Spent some time with them this week, and through this process, I reached out to him with some others, did some interviews and had some discussions to see if he had interest in returning and to see if he was right for us, with the idea that he had stepped away for a little bit.
What day did you initialize the communication with him about the head coaching job?
Oh man. Today's Thursday, right? I got to look at my calendar. Monday or Tuesday.
So going that far back, you thought that this opening. With what you just said before, as far as you were going to let Kramer go no matter what. When was that decision made?
That was a multifaceted decision. I've got to say it wasn't one that I came up with in a silo. It involved athletic administration, university administration, some input from some other constituents, but I think all of that culminated in a decision today.
When you say input from other constituents, does that mean alumni? Do they have a role in kind of making this decision or anything like that?
No, we involved we try to keep a good pulse on our student athletes, and I've got an open door policy, and I allow student athletes to come in, and from time to time they will come and voice concerns, and that's the other constituent.
At what point did you realize a change needed to be made?
No, we're always looking for improvement, and the expectation that we have is for every one of our coaches. And so for us to get stagnant in any sport is not something that we want to do. And so we're always looking for improvement. We're always doing those things. And so I can't say there's a certain point. It's an evolution process. We're always trying to be better. We're always looking for options. And we always want to have, I don't know if the right word is an ace in the hole, but we want to make sure that we've got options, that we don't get backed into a corner and don't have anywhere to go.
Can you explain why this decision was made like right now instead of whatever other time it could have been made?
You know what? I can't go into too many of those things. This being a personnel action and privacy laws, I can just say that a decision was made through those things, and it wasn't just one event. It was a series of events, a series of turns, a series of decisions that led us to this point.
And just to clarify, events. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by events?
Yeah, those are things I really can't talk about. But happenings within the program, happenings within the leadership.
Jeff, has Rob agreed to a multi-year deal, or is this considered like an interim position?
I've invited Rob to come back. We're still in those discussions, and we'll finalize those in the next couple of days.
Why is Rob the guy for this job?
It's his experience. It's his experience tied with the fact that he's been here. He's not new to the program. The athletes don't need to get to know him. They don't need to see him in action. They've seen him in action. I know that they like him. I know that they like the leadership that he brings. I've seen the leadership that he brings. And then all of that experience, his experience at the University of Montana is very important because they've been very successful in it, and they're a program that we want to pattern ourselves after. They were successful for many years, and those things don't happen by accident. They happen on purpose. They happen with the right pieces. He was a part of that, and we want to bring that same thing to Idaho State University.
Considering the timing and everything, would you have opened up the coaching search more if this was early on?
You know what? That's a possibility.
How do you think your football program's viewed by the public?
You know what? From comments that I've heard, we need to improve. We need to be more competitive. I think socially, from what I've heard, we're doing a great job. Our student athletes are involved in the community. They're doing a great job in the classroom. They're competing. They're providing input along with their other fellow classmates. They're doing good things there. They're working very hard in the weight room and in the classroom and on the practice field, and they work very hard on the playing fields. But I think everyone wants to see you know, a conference champion. And that's what I hear over and over again. When are we going to get a conference championship? When are we going to get 8 wins again? When are we going to get 6 wins again? Everybody wants to see a winner. Everyone wants to be a part of it. That's what I think I see. They want us to see success.
To kind of jump off that point, do you feel like this is a program that can consistently win?
I think we can. I think a foundation has been laid, and now we need to build upon that foundation.
Mike came in with one of the best resumes a Big Sky coach can have, and he wasn't able to win here. So what makes you believe that it is possible to win here with a new head coach? You know
what? He came in and raised the bar. He raised it to the point where it is now. He got us out of academic trouble, out of APR trouble, out of all of those things because of his leadership style and some of the things that he did, and very grateful for him. And he has prepared us for the next step where we can, you know, raise the bar even higher. That our foundation is above what it was before, and it's. Yeah.
What is Rob's vision for this program?
You know what? I will make him available next week, and we can do all of this. You can ask him those questions. I don't want to put words into his mouth, but he's very excited about this opportunity. Very excited to work with the student athletes, with the existing coaching staff to improve things.
You said players had an input in this decision. Did they have the input towards Kramer being let go and also the hiring of the new coach because they're familiar with him? Either or both?
No, it's me taking a pulse of the program. It's me finding out from student athletes. You know, there are a lot of different avenues that we have for student athletes to give us feedback, and that's really important. We want feedback. We've got to find out areas that we're not meeting their standards, not meeting their needs, that we're a little deficient. And so through some of the interviews that were performed actually by third-party groups, you know, at the end of our student athletes experience here, we've got an athletic advisory board that it's made up of faculty, staff, students, non-student athlete students, and community members. And they perform interviews at the end to find out how we're doing. How did we do as athletic staff, as a athletic training staff, and a weight room staff, and a coaching staff? Where can we be better? What needs to be improved? And so some of those comments that we get back, I got those anonymously. They don't have names on them, and that's fine. But got comments back of areas that we needed to improve. And I had some student athletes that took advantage of the open door policy and came in and shared with me their thoughts on the program and the polls.
Who, if anyone, was considered for the head coaching position besides just Rob?
There were, but I'm not prepared to speak about those today.
People are calling this a forced retirement on social media, so do you want to give a comment on that?
You know, this was Coach Kramer's decision. He decided on this. He decided upon this on his own. And that's where it is.
Do you feel like this could be a distraction to the football team with spring practice starting in a week?
You know what? I guess it could be. I met with them earlier today to speak with them about this, and it was business as usual with them. They met with with myself and our staff. Our assistant coaches were there. They broke from that, met with their individual player position coaches, and then they went out and did conditioning. I think they're still out there right now in this rain or sleet or whatever it is. They're out there, and they're just as dedicated now as they were yesterday, if not more.
To clarify, didn't you said he hasn't signed a contract or agreed to terms yet, or what, he's done one or the other?
We've agreed to some terms, but I need him to be face to face.
So then, is there any worry that it's not set in stone, that something could change and he might not be your football coach since it's not signed?
I'm not concerned about that.
Is it more of a verbal commitment?
Yes.
I had heard that Kramer had maybe lost the team a little bit. He had maybe checked out. Did that have anything to do with this decision or anything like that?
We hear things like that from time to time. Rumors are really that, they're rumors. But we're always working with our student athletes to make sure that they're being provided for in the ways that are in their best interest.
A couple months ago, Kramer told us in a press conference that it's hard to win at ISU because first it's academics, social standards, and winning comes third. Is that true?
The hard to win at ISU, I don't agree with. Academic standards are the same everywhere else. Our academic standards are about middle of the pack for the Big Sky Conference. We are definitely higher than some schools, but we are definitely lower than some schools. And so to say that we can't win because of academic standards is ludicrous. We've got a great university. We've got great professors. And they are devoted and invested to all of the students on campus. We've got great academic staff that help with all of those things. So, no, I wouldn't say that. The second one?
Just like social standards. He was saying it ranked academically, socially, and then winning was the last thing on that list of what was important for the university.
Well, you know, we want to win. We want to win just like everybody else. And to say winning is not important would be untruthful, because we want to win. But we have other expectations. We expect our student athletes to contribute in the classroom, to go to class, to sit towards the front of the classroom and to contribute and to prepare themselves for the rest of their life. You know, sports, and whether it's football or tennis or basketball or whatever sport, there's a ending date. There's a time when they have to retire from their athletic careers and move on to their professional career, whatever it may be. And so we expect that. We expect performance from our student athletes in the classroom. They're held to a higher standard than the rest of our campus. And so, yeah, I won't hide from that in any way. We expect a lot of things from our student athletes. But I think those things contribute to winning. Those things, you know, we want athletes that can think on their feet, that can make decisions on their feet, whether that's in the classroom or on the football field.
Obviously, you have expectations for your coaches. Is there any expectations that Rob set upon you in regards to the program, in regards to improving?
Yeah, he did. I'm not prepared to speak about those today.
If Kramer wants to take another job somewhere, is he allowed to, since he's still under contract for you guys for a year, or is he able to take another job? He's allowed to.
And you said it was Mike's decision to retire. What else did he kind of say to you as it was kind of his closing words when he said, "I'm going to retire"?
You know what? He just thanked me for the opportunity and was going to do a few different things with his life.
As a school that's struggling financially, I know you said a lot of other schools pay out the final year and everything, but why do it if you don't have to?
You know what? We made a commitment to Coach Kramer, just like he made a commitment to us, and that's very important. When you make a commitment, you keep it.
Do you think he saw the writing on the wall, and that's why he said he would retire instead of being dismissed?
You know, you have to ask him that question.
Is there a specific event or series of events that led to him wanting to leave?
Again, that's a question for him.
Usually when there's a coaching change, there's transfers and decommitments from recruits. Where Rob's already been in the program, will that minimize that?
I think so.
And will we keep the assistant coaches we got?
Every one of them.
Does Rob's mentality, football-wise, align with Kramer's to where the athletes we have will perform under his system, or will we take the program in a different direction, look for different style of athletes?
You know, we need to work those things out. And, you know, in the coming days and weeks, you can ask him that same question.
Is that it? Okay, thanks, guys.